Praise God, church. Praise God, conference. Our guest speaker, our vicar, and our own Honorable Charity Ngilu, my friend, and the rest of the participants. It's a great joy this afternoon to thank God for giving us this wonderful opportunity. The journey that has brought me to this podium started a while ago. I can see her smiling. It started a while ago when we met somewhere around Westlands after my church service with Honorable Charity over a cup of coffee and a few other mheshimiwas. And after some nice ties, the discussion came around, like, wait a minute, we have this great conference in our church that we want to look at. And I said, okay, from the church where I come from, we do not have this kind of things, but I would like to know. Yes. And she says, we have 7 days of a week, in a week. We have 6 days for our members out there. On the 7th day, on Sunday, we all expect them to bring on board the tithing and the offering. But wait a minute. Who cares what they do and where they get these resources from? What challenges they go through for the 6 days? We have decided to get exactly to that. And that's how this concept has been and has come. Welcome. That was very great, Madam Charity. Let's appreciate Charity for this and the team and Vika. We are here. We are seated. We want to listen to something. Now, allow me to say this, and I've shared with our figure here that I've done presentations, but across this region, East African region, I don't think I've seen any church that have had this kind of a concept. So it's a great plus for you, Vika, and the whole team. You are the brainchild, and I'm sure the other churches will roll. I'm a member of Parkland Baptist Church, which is just a neighbor here. So I'm doing exactly what the preacher said. I'm giving to the neighbors. So one of these days, you're also welcome to Parkland Baptist Church, just around Westlands. My senior pastor is Pastor Ambrose Njenga. And I did not come alone. I came with my darling wife and our son. My wife is seated next. If you could just stand and wave. Hannah is there. And our son, who is also assisting us, Martin, somewhere. Martin, just wave. Thank you. And in our company, we also have those that we work with in multimedia. We have one of the key lead consultants, Bona John Okeo. If you could wave, John. Thank you. And finally, I came with a member of our church and his family. This is Dr. Pete. The other name is a difficult one. Yes, Dr. Pete, you could wave the congratulations. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm here with the blessings of my church and my family. Thank you. Now, our discussion today is very simple. We are looking at the theme of entrepreneurship and what goes with it in terms of stress. When I talk about stress, wait a minute, stress. I want you to look at your friend, the person sitting next to you. If you are very careful, you might see a few lines around their face. Take care. They were not born with them. If you look at them carefully, around what you call the nose bridge, there is some abnormality. Can you see it? Those who have glasses, they are hiding it. There's some deep, yes, some fold of some kind. They were not born with it. It's a product of what I and you go through. Now, our presentation today is simply to see how we can actually manage our stress in this era of COVID, after the post-COVID-19 experiences. My presentation is going to be more of interactive than a one-man show. Now, I want to ask a few questions. What are some of the main causes of stress in our society? I'll give you a reward if you give me one or two. Yes, if you can give the mic.
Thank you very much. My name is Caleb Ngala from Madare.
Yes.
One of the key things that bring stress, especially to youths, one is peer pressure.
Yes.
And the high cost of living to vulnerable families.
Thank you so much for that. Any other source of stress? Yes, I can see a hand there. I'm a lecturer, and when I see hands up, I know that I have a very, very active audience. Thank you. Give her the mic. Yes, ma'am.
Diseases and sicknesses.
Diseases and sicknesses. Oh my. I hope none of us here have some, what is that? Some tablets in the pocket. Do I get a bag? I hope not. But I can, you have, okay. But I'm sure in the last 1 week or two, somebody has swallowed a pill of some sort, in one or another. Some headache. Huh? Ingine nini? Iyo na iyo ndio. Let me tell you, God in his creation did not envisage a situation where there would be medicine. And if you doubt, at the Garden of Eden, were there medicine? So, we madam umetoa wapi? Cancer issues, umetoa wapi vitu? Madawa ni za nini? God did not envisage sickness. He created Adam and Eve and gave them a very wonderful environment where they live in happiness. Do you know where stress comes from? Stress has come because we have not honored God. We have not listened and read the Bible clearly. It is very clear. God envisaged a situation where man will be happy throughout his life. And that's why all of us, when the preacher was speaking there, we were happy because we will know that if we are spiritually enriched, one day, one time, and we follow the Bible, one day, one time, we shall go to heaven. And what will happen in heaven? Okay, how many of us want to go to heaven? Hey, did I see a hand down? Why do we want to go to heaven? Because in heaven, people will be eating, sleeping, rejoicing, no work, just no worries, no what? Those things that you are talking about are the things that actually we are talking about today. Why should they be there? There's a song we used to sing early when I was a young boy. It used to end, let's have a little heaven down here. Okay, who can I have somebody to sing that song for me? Somebody to sing that song for me? 1, 2, sing. I'm happy today, so happy in Jesus' name.
I'm happy
Because
he has taken away my sins away. I'm happy, so happy today.
And
the time to
and
be
the
happy is now.
And the place to be happy is here. And the way to be happy is to make someone happy
and to have a little
heaven down here. Makofi. How many people have you made happy today? Happiness is reflective. What you give is what you get. Ukikaa na uso umekunja hapa 9 floors. What do you expect from the other person? They will give you 20 floors. If you smile, they will smile at you. So you must initiate it so that you can get it. So the day to be happy and the time to be happy is today. Wow. Now, let's get to our presentation. We want to have the first slide. The first slide, kindly. Yes. Stress defined. Stress can be defined as a state of worry or mental tension caused by difficult situations. That is a definition from the World Health Organization. Wait a minute. What kind of difficult situations do we go in through life? We have mentioned some of them. We have talked about the problems that we face. Not because they are our making. Of course, some of them are from us, but some are not. Today is a day for taking notes. Kindly, you appreciate me that by nature of I being a teacher for a long time, I'm trained that at the end of the presentation, you must do assessment. So I'll do an assessment, so you better take your notes. And if you fail in my exam, I'll give you a receipt or a supplementary somewhere. Okay, so stress can be defined as a state of worry. Why are you worried? God does not envisage a situation where you should get worried. Because all the worries and our worries and cares, bring them to God. There's a song, what a friend we have. Prepare for that, Sasawa. Okay, because singing is part of stress removal. Second slide. Thank you. Now, types of stress. We have 3 types of stress. One is psychological, that affects your mind. What are you thinking about? Some of us are seated here, but your mind is back. You have an assignment you have not done. You have a place of work. You have a meeting tomorrow you have not prepared. Why? Stress. Now, the second one is psychosocial stress. The psychosocial stress is mostly the stress that we get from the society, from the people around us, workplace, family, the country, and everywhere else. Now, Vika, I have something for you here. Psychospiritual stress. Let me tell you, my brother here, who is my fellow alumni at the University of Nairobi, in those years, I appreciate you, sir. He went to the University of Nairobi. Those years, I was still a young boy. And you are the people who made the University of Nairobi what it is now. Now, Vika does not sleep because he wonders and actually asks himself, what will I feed to my people? Which direction am I taking to my people? There are so many problems in my church. How do I solve them? He has that kind of leadership stress. Now, categories of stress. We have 2 categories. One, we have what we call good stress. I mean, we need a certain amount of stress. For example, when you're going for an interview, you need a certain amount of stress to prepare yourself to pass that interview. When you're doing an exam, you need a certain amount of stress. God, in his creation, prepared your systems in such a way that you must go hungry so that you go looking for work and get food. Now, if God did not create such a scenario and all of our stomach were full one day and never getting empty, would we go to work? Would you go to work? So we go to work because we need to satisfy our biological needs. We need to eat, we need to drink, and all that. All right. Acute stress. This is where rubber hits the tarmac. We are going through so much stress in our life that people are wondering, shall we make it? But thank God, we have the assurance that we shall make it. We shall be able to make it. We shall pull through. So don't allow the stress level to get to acute level. Because when that kind of stress comes on board, you start having other issues. Let's see what comes out of acute stress. But before we get there, we want to know what are the various ways we get stress. Next slide. Yes. Now, common sources of stress. Some of them, of course, we have enumerated them here. We have work, yes. Workplace stress, interviews, exams, health, it has been mentioned. You know, loss of loved ones. Sometimes when we are bereaved, we go through a lot of stress. Traffic jam. With our government has been working very hard. At least now we have express highway. When you're going to the airport, the other day I was flying out and I had only about 20 minutes to get to the airport. And I was imagining if it was not for the express highway, I would have actually missed that flight. Now today, we have 10, 15 minutes, you are at the airport and you're there for the same. Traffic jams. Now, leaders. We have leaders in this conference. There's nothing that affects leadership in any society than if you are not stable in your family. The preacher said today that the strongest unit of a society, the church, is the family. We need the church and we need the society, but we must empower the family. Believe you me, our vicar here will tell us he's very happy when a family is functioning, but he's very worried when a family or a couple comes to him and tells him, we have had enough. I want to take my way. He's taking his way. And the question is, what about the children? Environmental stresses, lack of management of stress has caused so many issues. When the family has a problem, there's a problem everywhere. Now, relationships. The young men, the youth, you are very soon getting into relationship. You are looking for somebody to marry. The relationship is not working. We have heard of young men committing suicide and all those kind of, because a relationship did not work, right? So that is something very, very important. Next, we have finances. Just ask your friend, how many bills do you pay at the end of the month? Muulize tu. From tokens za stima, maji, nini ingine? Fuel, nini ingine? Niachie hapo. I'm told niachie hapo. We may have to do several pages. Yes, finances, rents, they're out here, hospital bills. Now, job losses. After COVID-19, so many businesses closed shop. And that has actually caused a lot of problems. Tax obligations. June 30 is here. My friend, kama hujalipa tax, if you have not done your returns, how many of us have done their returns? Wow, clap for yourselves. Kenyans, we are doing well. Yes. Please, don't allow stress to come because of not organizing yourself. Do your returns. Otherwise, the taxman will be on your neck. Right. Weather. Sometimes when the weather, especially in this city, Nairobi and Nairobians, mvua ikinyesha, what happens to the fare? They double or they even triple. Something when the farmer is praying that the rains come so the crops do not dry, the matatu person is praying that the rains come so that he can triple the what? I'm telling you, tuko na shida. Now, let's look at other common sources of stress. Now, symptoms. How do you know that your friend, the person seated next to you, is going through stress? Or even at the family level. We have manifestation through mood swings, insomnia, lack of sleep, restlessness, overeating, lack of appetite, constant fatigue, indigestion, headaches, and lack of concentration, especially in such a situation. Next, Now, we want to look at, yes, there are so many symptoms. The list is endless. But how do we manage stress? Let's go to this management of our stress. Very key. Now, effects of the acute stress, we have, when stress is not managed, it leads to all these. Drug and substance abuse, ill health, crime, domestic violence. I'm telling you. Job losses, because when somebody gets drunk, they are fired from the workplace. Separation of marriages, because they cannot cope. We have divorce. When divorce is coming, children don't have guidance. So they end up in the streets. Teenage pregnancies. And extreme cases, suicide, especially after job loss and broken marriages. Now, let's go to the national effects. When street children are there, we don't have tourists coming to do to our country, we end up having loss of investor confidence because tourists do not want to come to our city and they see street children. That's our problem. So we lose on whatever. Now, wage bills go up, right? Because of hospitals and all that, because patients' infrastructures are overwhelmed. Yes. Let's look at management techniques. This is the bottom line. This is the theme of our today's discussion. How do we manage stress so that our entrepreneurial angle is worked on? How do we make sure that we are a healthy nation, a healthy church, a healthy society? This is the solution. One, speak out. How many times do you speak to the person next to you? How many times do you speak to your spouse, your workmate, your boss, and tell them what you're going through? Sometimes we fear sharing. Please speak out what you're going through. Now, one of the reasons why in this country you find that the male population is going down at a very high rate is because men, when we are growing up as boys, we are told, boys don't cry. Be a man. Now, being a man means you don't share your problems. Women share problems, and they, wanasema jana kulienda hivi. They have a very good social network. That's why I think they live longer. I don't know. Now, then exercise. Walk around. Just do a lot of walking, evening walks, meditation, laughter. When did you last do a very nice laughter? When did you, wakati wa mwisho wakati ulicheka? Yesterday. Ujacheka leo? Awachia amecheka leo. At least hiyo achia nimesikia. Hata sahi. Okay, now let's see. We are going to do. Now our guest of honor is also laughing. That's nice, eh? That was good. Now, how many cycles of laughter do you do in a day? Medics will tell you when you do a nice round of laughter, the systems relax. You produce some elements of body defense mechanism. Now, reading. Leaders read. And what do you read? Spiritual information, magazines, newspapers. Watching movies. How many of us watch movies weekly? How many of us watch movies? Oh, this is a great team. You need to watch movies. Movies also help you to, remove stress. Create family time. Valuable friends. Now, I want to mention this. Do you have anybody around here in this conference who is under 18? Kuna under 18? Kama wako nitanyamaza tu. But I leave item number, hey, go back. I leave item number second last. Second last for you to interpret it for yourself. I know some of us have missed it, but you can share with them. Item number second last. No, third last. Remove this. Just the item before sleep. Vika, kindly explain that on Sunday. Not. So finally, sleep. Take time to sleep. Sleep is very, very therapeutic. Finally, I want to emphasize the need for taking holiday with the family, as a couple, as a family, as a group, and do team building. I now want to go to the last slide. The last slide, I want to say, I am here to enjoy and take and request that you do this. Manage your time, take water, 8 glasses of water. And can I see somebody? I saw somebody chewing somewhere. Chew a lot. Chewing also helps in what? Yes.